Yoo-hoo. Oh, I should just honestly tell the whole story. That's it. That's where this all started. You have to advocate for yourself. I'll tell the story. Hectic travel from Greece started the night before I was supposed to leave. I was supposed to leave on Monday. And the night before I leave, I can't check in for my flight. Couldn't check in online. So I called the airline. They couldn't check me in over the phone, but they told me the next best option was to go to the airport and try to check in at the desk. I was like, listen, I'm in this tiny little Greek island. Like, I'm not even on the island that I'm flying out of. So I'm like, can you please tell me if there's a counter or not? I can't just be showing up willy nilly. So the lady on the phone tells me, I don't know, you have to ask the people at the counter. I said, excuse me, ma'am. I have to go to the airport desk to ask if there are people at the airport desk at this tiny little Greek airport on another island that I am not on. I was like, thank you very much for your help. Enjoy your evening. I don't even know what time zone it is, actually. Enjoy. Goodbye. That was the night before. So I clean the apartment, pack my bags, sleep, get everything ready the morning before. Oh, and I book a taxi. I was doing things until the very last second. This is where the dominoes keep falling, but now they're falling with force and rapidly. Anyway, the taxi driver is texting me like, "Okay, I'm here." Oh, there's a sheriff. Not only am I not on the island that I'm supposed to be on, I am also 10-minute walk away from where I have to meet my taxi. It's down the side of a mountain. And I have a luggage that weighs like 30 kilo and a carry-on and my backpack. I'm cleaning until the last second. I'm getting food ready so that I have it on the boat. I'm making sure I'm not leaving anything. I'm making sure I'm leaving this Airbnb in a nice, tidy order. The lady was so kind. That's a whole nother story. I'm like running up against time. The taxi driver is telling me he is here. I'm like, okay, I'm coming down the side of the mountain. Like, my Airbnb is up. I get my things. I put two of my bags outside of the apartment. I left my checked luggage inside the apartment. Get everything ready, get my food, do a double over in the apartment. And then I go outside, lock the doors, put the keys in the mailbox where the Airbnb host requested that I put them. And then I realize, only then, that my bag is still inside my Airbnb. And my keys are in the mailbox, which is locked and I have no access to, other than like trying to fish them out. And my hand doesn't fit in the mailbox. So I am like, oh my gosh, I can't leave my luggage in Greece. Or this taxi man is going to leave me and then I'm going to miss my boat. Then I'm going to miss my flight and then I'm stuck in Greece. But I'd be stuck in Greece with my things. So, like, very quickly, I'm like, I have to MacGyver this shit. And I look around, I'm like, what can I use? What can I use? I'm looking at, like, maybe my own keys. Can I do it somehow? No. There's these little clamps for the table outside on the patio in my Airbnb to keep the table cover on. I bend the hook, MacGyver it, fish my keys out of the mailbox, get the keys, open the door, grab my bag, lock the door up, put the keys back, put the C-clamp back to its shape somehow, put everything back to its order, grab my bags, go for, with probably like 100 pounds in bags on me, I go on this 10-minute walk down the side of a mountain. I'm texting this taxi man like, please don't leave, please don't leave. You'll understand once I get there. He sees me. He's like, why didn't you tell me? I could have gone up there. And I was like, there's no addresses. I didn't even know where to tell you where to go. And I was like, there's not exactly a driveway for the house that I was staying at. He was like, oh my goodness. Whatever. So I put my things in there and he helps me. I start to get in the car and he's like, no, please come sit up here with me. We made like a super nice conversation. He was telling me all about like how he's Kalymnian and Australian, and that's a super common mix, I guess, in with Kalymnian people, because there's a large population of Kalymnian expats in Australia. He pulled me right up to the boat where I needed to go. I told him I had my ticket, so he literally put my bags onto the boat for me. It was very kind. Get onto the boat, I eat my meal, we cross over from Kalymnos to Gauls. I think that's how it's pronounced. I will stand corrected. Just please correct me. Once I get to Cause, I didn't want to spend any more money on a taxi because taxis are expensive. I got lucky with a couple of free rides while I was in Greece. But I knew there was a bus. I just didn't know the times or anything. I saw people waiting at the bus stop though, so that was promising. I walked over there and there was a British guy, and I asked him, "Oh, do you know when the next bus is coming?" He said, "Oh, it says 1:30, but I don't know. We'll see." And I think it was like 20-minute wait. So I was like, "Yeah, like I'll wait. Like I just need to go to the bathroom." I was like, "Do you mind if I leave a bag here?" There wasn't anything valuable. It was literally just clothes that I really don't care about. So he was like, "Yeah, of course, if you don't mind. Like, I'm not going anywhere." Like, people are so kind in this area. Like, there's literally no sorts of crime. The only crime that happens is when foreigners come. I go to the bathroom and come back. This guy starts to chat me up. We start talking about birth. He starts telling me about his experiences. A parent he told me he was there on Kalymnos to cycle. I was like, I don't see you with a bike. Like, where'd you get one? He was like, I rented it from Mike's Bikes. And I was like, what? They have normal bike? Man, I wish I would have known that. I was like, the whole time I was here, I really wanted to ride my bicycle, but I didn't know they had normal, non motorized bikes. I would have gotten one for sure. Anyway, so we take the bus over. I get to the airport with my 100 pounds of luggage, and I go up to the one singular counter at the airport for all of the airlines, and I explained to them my situation, what's going on, and they were like, "Oh, we'll be able to help you, but we'll have to reach out to the airline on your behalf, and we can't do that until 5 o'clock." At that point, it was 2 p.m. But I was like, what can I do for 2.5, maybe 3 hours max to kill time before I have to be back here? And I was looking around, looked outside. I was like, nothing's really in walking distance, and I have all of this luggage with me. Like, I don't want to be lugging it all around. And I was like, rental car. So I went over to the rental car desk and I started to ask what the lowest price would be, if they had anything automatic, because everything in Greece is pretty much manual. It was gonna be like €60 for 2 hours. The guy at the desk was like, "You're gonna rent a car for 2 hours and you have to be back here and you're gonna pay €60 for that?" And I was like, I don't want to. I want to do something else, but I have all this luggage and like I'm really tired, and I haven't really been able to see things here on this island yet. So I figured I might just drive around for 2.5 or 3 hours and come back with all my bags and not have to lug it all around. And he was like, "Well, if you want to, you can put your bags back here. We'll lock them up and I'll drive you. There's like a restaurant around the corner I can take you to, or a coffee shop. It's just like a couple blocks away." I was like, "I can leave my stuff here with you?" And and no, like that. He was like, "Yeah, we'll put it behind the counter. My colleague will be here. He won't touch it. I won't touch it. It will be here." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, thank you so much. Thank you so much." I put my bags behind the counter. I take with me everything that I have that's valuable. It's all in one bag. This guy, personally, I mean, he just drove me in a rental car, but this man literally left work to drive me to go and get something to eat. Like, and I'm telling you, he didn't stay with me. It wasn't weird. He wasn't trying to be like flirtatious at all. He really wasn't even asking me questions or like anything. I don't even think he asked me where I'm from. He just asked like, "Where are you traveling to?" And he was just so kind, and I was like, thank you so much, like, I really appreciate this. He was like, yeah, of course, like, don't even mention it. And he didn't give me a high five, a hug, nothing. Like, he literally just said, be safe, like, have a good travel home. My colleague will be there when you pick up your things, but I'll let him know that you're coming back. I was like, thank you so much. Like, thank you, thank you, thank you. It was so nice. I went to the coffee shop, I sat down, charged my phone, and I like wandered around this part of Kos for a little bit, and then I made my way back to the airport at the appropriate time. I went back up to the counter and they told me, we're still trying to figure out what's going on. It's like, you're on the flight, but you're not. And I was like, what? Did you change your flight at all? Did you change? Like, everybody kept asking me that. Did you change your flight at all? Did you change your flight at all? No, 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 never, ever, no. I've been climbing mountains. I don't have time to change my flight. So I just kept getting the runaround. And so many airport workers kept coming up to me. Finally, these two guys came up to me. They were like, you changed your ticket. You have a reservation for a seat on the flight, but you don't have a ticket to get through security. We don't have anything else we can do. You have to reach out to the airline on your own. I said, okay. So I called the airline immediately and try to figure out what happened. Ultimately, what happened was I changed my ticket when I was booking my flight. Like, not any other time, not after I paid for my tickets, nothing. Like, I changed my ticket during the booking process. I changed the dates of my flight. It got wonky in their system. They messed up. So I had a reservation on my flight, aka I had a seat on the flight, but I didn't have a ticket. So I couldn't get through security without a ticket. So I'm like going back and forth with this airline. It got to the point where at one point they told me I was going to have to rebook a flight. And I'm like, I am on this tiny little island in Greece. Like, the next flight to Zurich is probably not for another like 2 or 3 days. And I'm American. I cannot miss this many days of work. He was like, we'll see what we could do, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. At some point, we hung up. I think he called me back. Got back on the phone with this dude. We figured it out. I run up to the people. I'm like, can you get me on this flight? Oh, no. Another whole other person that I hadn't talked to yet came up and told me, we're going to be closing the gates for your flight soon. And if you don't get this sorted out with the airline, we can't get you on the flight. So I'm like, I got back on the phone with the airline and we got it figured out. I don't know how, but we got it figured out. And thank God we did. Whew. I was able to get through security. I unfortunately had to leave some olive oil and honey, but that's okay. I will go back to Kalymnos at some point. I get through security. I have to take a bus from the airport from the airport to where the airplane is, and we have to just board from the ground. We take the bus, we get on the airplane. I don't even sit down in my seat. I just put my things down in my seat and I go right to the bathroom. And while I'm in the bathroom, the pilot decides to come on the over speaker and say, "Hi, welcome to your flight to Rhodes." Rhodes? I'm supposed to be going to Zurich. Did I just get on the wrong CTA bus? Like, this is a flight. I can't just get on the wrong flight. So I finished my business. I slammed the door open because I could hear the two flight attendants right outside. And I'm like, is this not going to Zurich? And one of the flight attendants was like, no. The other one was like, no, but yes. First we go to Rhodes, then we go to Zurich. And I was like, this is the last thing I needed to hear at this point in my trip. But thank you. So I sit back down. They both laughed. It was funny. I sit down. It's a full flight for 30 minutes from Kos to Rhodes. I don't have to get off the flight. People get off at Rhodes, and there are literally 10 people on the flight from Rhodes to Zurich. It was like having a private airplane. It was insane. There was a whole flight crew. We got not just a row to ourselves, we got rows to ourselves. It was insane. And it was like a 3.5 hour flight, I think. But that was the most peaceful point of all of the journey. So I just slept, and I slept hard. I landed in Zurich at like 11:30. They have these airport lockers where you can put your things up in the airport while you go explore in the city. Zurich is so nice. Free Zurich. The streets of Zurich are mine. So I landed. It was late at night. There was nothing open. It was literally only McDonald's and a club. I got McDonald's because I was super hungry. I was trying to find bars that might still have a kitchen open or something, but Zurich is not open late. But McDonald's in Zurich was fire. I got a free apple pie. I stayed getting free things on this trip. I ate my McDonald's, just kind of walked along the river, wandered around Zurich. I'm telling you, it was empty. Like that video of Will Smith walking around Zurich saying, "Oh, this is so weird. I don't usually get to walk around cities not like just like this." Zurich is empty, empty. And I just like I wandered and wandered and wandered and wandered. There was like only a few people, but then somebody started wandering behind me, wandering a little too close. I was like, and then asked me if I want a cigarette. No, no, I don't. No, I don't. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to interact. Bye. At that point, I was like, it's time to go back to the airport. It's really easy, by the way, to get from the airport in Zurich to Zurich via the train. So I just went back to the train station, but more fun. They closed the train station from, I want to say 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. to clean. So I was like, the city's still not even open yet, still dead. At that point, I was like, I'm going to the club. That'll still be open. I wander on over to the club. There's two dancers sitting outside and a bouncer. Not like a big dude, but like a European bouncer. I start to walk in and like I walk past him and I'm not awkward. Like I like kind of like as I walk past him and go in and they're like, the guy's like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going in." And he was like, "Oh no, it's a gentleman's club." And I was like, "Yeah, can I go in?" No, we have enough girls. You don't want girls in the club?" Just looked very confused. And honestly, I think that man thought I wanted to dance at the club. But quite honestly, I think I also just looked too poor for a Switzerland. Because I was just in my travel clothes, you know? And I hadn't changed my hair since like Greece. So I'm like, failed mission again. I just wait until the train station opens. Then I go back to the airport. I get to the airport, take my things out of the locker, sit down to charge my phone before I get on my flight. I text some people. I was like, "Hey, I landed in Zurich, flying home to Chicago soon." Send that text, and I get an email that my flight got canceled from Zurich to Chicago. Yet again, another failed mission. But this one was out of my control, unfortunately. Get my things. I go to the desk, which I know that there's a desk for the airline that I'm flying at this airport. Zurich is big. Zurich Airport is big. And weirdly enough, I've had dreams of Zurich Airport before. Very weird. Previous to this trip, I've never been to Zurich Airport. The lady at the freaking line's giving me gum. I'm like, "I know where I'm going, lady. Please just let me be." I go up to the dude. He's very nice. He could tell I'm like struggling with all my bags, and he gives me a cup of water. He helps me change my flight. And honestly, I should have changed it to the later flight so I could just have the day in Zurich and like be worry free. But I was also really like, I should get home. Changed it to the next flight out of Zurich, put my things back in the locker, and went back into the city. I wanted to get a meal, get a coffee, do some shopping, and then go home. Because Switzerland has some nice shopping. It's just expensive. I head back to city center. I get a nice coffee. I get a nice like pretzel pastry. It was killer. Looking around for things to do, and I see that they have a bathhouse in Switzerland, and I was like, that is what I need right now. Like, I just want to chill, relax, soak up some good me time before I have to be back on my flight. I don't know. All along the way, my phone's kind of dying too, and I don't have a charger with me. So I had to figure out where I could get a swimsuit, how I could get a charger or charge my phone, get this certain medication I needed to get in Zurich that I can't get at home, and go to the bathhouse, all while my phone is dying. I go to get this swimsuit. It was a breeze. I met this really nice, kind girl. And then I headed to the bathhouse. While I was in the bathhouse, I realized that my phone was really, really about to die. And so I'm like, what do I do? I hear the workers speaking Spanish. And like all along this trip, the whole time, I had only heard two people speaking Spanish the whole time. So I hear these workers and I'm like, I go up to them and I'm speaking to them in Spanish. And I'm like, is there any way that you guys have a charger like in the break room, or one of y'all have a personal charger? Because my phone's going to die and I need to catch a flight soon. I'm not from here. But I was like, I just really need a charger. And they're like, oh, we never get to speak Spanish with anybody. Like, what? How do you speak Spanish? Blah, 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 blah. Of course we have a charger. Like, we'll put your phone on the charger. You go enjoy the bathhouse. I'm like watching the time keenly. I keep asking everybody in the bathhouse, which I feel bad about, but I kept asking all the workers, "Do you have the time? Do you have the time?" But I enjoyed the heck out of that bathhouse. And when it was time to come back for my phone, the one of the workers gave it back to me, and he was like, "I put it on airport mode so it would charge quicker. I hope you have a nice flight. Like, make it home safe. You're always welcome back here. See you soon." It was so nice. It was so very nice. But I get my things together. I am like trying to figure out when the next train back to the airport is, because now I'm taking up against time against my flight to get back to Chicago. And I'm like, crap, I can't make it to the train from where I am really in time. Let me just take a taxi. I knock on this taxi's window that's sitting around the corner from the bathhouse, but the bathhouse is also right next to Google and like the industrial quarter in Zurich, and Zurich is pricey. So I knock on this guy's window. I'm like, hey, how much would a ride be to the airport? I'm not kidding you. I thought this man said 6 or 7 franc. He said 60 or 70. I did not know this. It turned out to be 77 franc, which is like 95 USD. It was a 20-minute ride. That was the most expensive taxi ride I think I've ever taken. That man gypped me. He got me. But Switzerland, again, is expensive. But I got on my flight home. It was 10 hours. Since they had canceled the first flight out of Zurich to Chicago, that somehow messed up the meal service for this flight from Zurich to Chicago. So I did not have a meal for a 10-hour flight. All I had was like sweets and chocolates, Swiss chocolate, and these like date bars that the lady next to me was kind enough to give me. I had some coffee, and the lady next to me was talking it up, which I wasn't mad at. Like, I took a nap here and there. Like, she was respectful, but still, I like meeting new people. I'll talk with anybody, to be honest. But I didn't get a meal, so I didn't have like anything to really soak up all of that, and I was out just wandering all night off of no sleep. I I had walked all night long in Zurich, up and down the river all night long. So no sleep, lots of physical activity, not a ton of food. The last substantial meal I had was McDonald's. And this 10-hour flight did me in. So we're descending, coming into Chicago. I'm not kidding you. We have like 10 more minutes on this flight. And I lose it. I lose it. All of the contents of my stomach. I throw it up everywhere. But I broke I ripped off my seatbelt and I ran for the bathroom. I was like, I don't care. I'm not puking on anybody. I'm not puking on myself. I just made it through this 10-hour flight. I'm not about to ruin it while I'm in Chicago. I was like, I just had to make it home. And that was a frequent feeling that I kept having on this trip. I was like, I just need to make it to shelter and food and water. Nature does that to you. It traveled too. So we get down, I get my bags, I get home. It was so hectic, but alhamdulillah, I made it home and safe with all of my luggage. Not the contents of my stomach, but that's okay. And I got a meal and I got the trip of a lifetime. We've come full circle.